Rishi Sunak raised comments by the Labour MP Rosie Duffield in response to the claims being thrown at him by Keir Starmer about being weak over his ministers. Now, Rosie Duffield had likened her treatment in the Labour Party to an abusive relationship. Does Labour have a woman problem?
Absolutely not. I mean, Labour's the party that brought in the Equal Pay Act, Sex Discrimination Act, almost all the legislation on violence against women and girls. I was working in the violence against women and girls movement for 26 years up until I was elected as an MP. And in that time, I can tell you that the progress that we made under Labour governments was extraordinary. And what I also learnt in that time was what Keir Starmer was like. He was Director of Public Prosecutions while I was working at various violence against women and girls organisations, and I saw the leadership stance that he took. Now we have more than 50% of the Parliamentary Labour Party are women, and we are strong, vocal women. Up with nonsense we will not put.
No.
And we are really supportive of each other and of women across differences.
It must be extremely upsetting and uncomfortable for you, as one of the women that you have described, to have Rosie Duffield, your colleague, giving that pretty emotional interview, this in response to the debate about the Gender Recognition Reform Bill in Scotland, to which the government has decided to block, where she says, "I feel now, after 6 years of being cold-shouldered by the Labour Party," these are her views being put forward in a gender-critical way, "conjures memories of how I felt in that abusive relationship" that she's talked about in the Commons.
I don't know why Rosie has chosen those words. I can't answer for Rosie, but I do know that the atmosphere in the Women's PLP is supportive. We work with each other, we listen to each other across difference, and that's the atmosphere that Keir has also led from the front on instilling in the entire Labour Party, that we try and work with difficult issues. Now, as I said, I don't know why Rosie's chosen to say that, and I feel for anyone who feels that way, but my experience of the Labour Party and the Women's PLP in particular is of a supportive, dynamic and confident environment, and a confident group of women who are used to being able to give each other support and speak out against injustice and prejudice.
I mean, is she wrong, Rosie Duffield, in the way that she is expressing her views when it comes to the debate around transgender rights?
As I said, I don't know why Rosie's chosen to express her views. They must reflect her experience. My experience is that this has been, it's a difficult debate, it's a challenging debate, but the Labour Party is the party of equality. We passed the Gender Recognition Act in 2004. We also passed the Equality Act in 2010, one of the last pieces of legislation we passed, and we're really proud of those pieces of legislation, but that's part of a very long tradition of legislating and acting on violence against women and girls, on gender discrimination, on women's equality generally, and I'm really proud of that legacy and looking forward to what else we're going to do in government.
All right, it's time to introduce